People are like animals, primarily herd animals, where like-minded people get together and and they form a herd. Other herds are typically met with suspicion because they don't think like we do. It just goes the way it goes, doesn't it? Herds typically nowadays are political or religious or societal type of herds. I mean, it's no longer for protection or anything like that. But at the end of the day, religious and political dogma often foster hate, and that's fostering hate within the herds. At least that's my opinion. Uh, One herd will look at another herd that's completely different and be very suspicious of them. And this goes into something that I've often thought about why people hate each other. I mean, we see a lot of things these days about people all feeling threatened or hating a particular religious group, or maybe all religious groups, or a particular political group, or various groups. And when you really think about it, there's really three reasons why people hate people or hate others. The first thing is that they see them as a threat, and in that they look different, they act differently, they don't abide by our rules. Have completely different set of rules, and we really don't know what rules they have, but we know that they're bad. Also, they can't be controlled, at least with our rules anyway. They just seem to go out and do their own thing. So we see them as a threat to ourselves, to our jobs, to our way of life. Another reason that, take for instance, people hate other people is that they hate themselves. In that, this is typical with people that have grown up in the herd, or they didn't join the herd initially, but they sort of by osmosis or generational thing, a legacy of being a member of a particular herd, much like religion in some ways. And basically they hate themselves, and it's because they are controlled in their own life by a set of rules, and they really haven't looked beyond that. But they feel that for some strange reason they may be oppressed by the current system. And you get oftentimes people thinking about that who are under specific political systems, or they say, gee, I would love to get out of this place and go somewhere else. It's, you might say, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence philosophy. And another reason, the third and final reason most people hate people, or hate others, is that they want to be like them because they themselves feel disadvantaged in their current situation. It's sort of like keeping up with the Joneses. They look and say, oh, so and so is doing a lot better than I am, not realizing, of course, that the struggle might be exactly the same that they've been going through to get to a certain point. So those are the three reasons. And what's happened is, in society we have an us and them thing going on, and uh, we live in a kind of a crazy world where governments have legislated multiculturalism. They say, oh, you must be this way with someone and you must be that way with someone. They've actually tried to legislate common sense. And when you legislate a certain thing, or you tell people what to do all the time, or people feel that you're telling them what to do under their system, of course, people are going to people are going to say, well, why should I like this guy, or why should I invite this guy over, or these kinds of things. So rather than giving them an understanding or educating, they tend to say, "Oh no, you have to do this or you have to do that," and put up with it because that's the law. And then you get people coming in who will take, for instance, come in and they partake in a particular law that gives them certain immunity or whatever, and it's always the people that we tend to attack that have taken advantage of this, not realizing that really what we're really doing is we're cutting off the grass, but we're allowing the roots to stay there. And the roots really, the grass is innocent. The roots are really the system. The system that says, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that. If you don't like it, if you don't like what you see, you have to go back and say, listen, let's find out who's doing this, who's allowing this stuff to happen. If the people are taking advantage of certain things, it's only common sense to think, hey, well, if someone offered you free food, wouldn't you take it? Well, of course you would. But if you have issue with people being offered free food, you have to go and find out who is actually providing the free food, who is actually condoning this, and that's the most important thing. But we always tend to take our frustrations out on people that are actually the benefactor, the people that actually get the benefit, rather than the people who are actually handing this stuff out. Which leads me to another thing. Another thought that crosses my mind all the time is we always jump up and down in modern society about equality. And when you think about equality, it sounds like a good idea in principle that everybody has equal rights and everything else. However, when you really consider it, all men are not created equal. Everybody has special talents that the other person doesn't have. Everyone has certain advantages. Some people are wealthier, some people are poorer, some people are smarter, some people are good with their hands, some people are good with their brains. It's just the way it is. And people would say, oh, that's politically incorrect to say this group is better with this than that. But it's the truth. It's the way it is. We are not created equal. And by making us all created equal, you are creating a society of mediocrity, at least in my opinion anyway, where, you don't have to try as hard. You just have to sort of blend in and keep your head down, and everything is fine. Uh, the other thing with our system is we want to create an equal society by giving special privileges beyond being equal to certain groups so that we can make them equal. So you have to think about that for a second. So if we're to have an equal society, but we have to treat other people special because for whatever reason society dictates that, is that really creating a fair and just equal society? Or is that actually not going back to the number one reason why people hate each other? And that's because they see them as a threat. And that threat is when people who are hardworking people see people being treated specially, or giving special privilege, they say, I've worked hard for my life all this time, and I've always paid my way, and these people are jumping the queue, getting in ahead of me, and being treated specially. And I see them as a threat to my way of life, to me advancing in my system, in my herd. And that's something to think about as well. Another thing as well is that they feel disadvantaged, and then perhaps they want to be like, this is another reason people hate, is because they want to be like those people that are treated special, but they can't for whatever reason, because of course they're not considered special. So the whole concept of treating everybody equal and everything, you really have to think about this. Are we really created equal? And if we are, that means that we're all followers and not leaders. And it's a mark of a good leader to stand up above the crowd. And by treating everyone equal, it's kind of rough, right? You're breeding a society where why should we bother getting ahead? The only type of thing, or the only type of area that we should look for equality in society is opportunity. Everybody should have equal access to opportunity. The opportunity to do what they want with regards to furthering their life or furthering their situation in life, and achieving. As long as they're not harming anyone, that's the main thing. So that's really the only type of equality we need in this world, as far as I'm concerned, and that is equal opportunity. Everything else you have to earn yourself. You have to roll up your sleeves and prove yourself worthy. There's no free pass. There's no get out of jail for free card or passing go and getting $500. You simply have to have access to equal opportunity, and that's all you need in the long run. Thanks for listening.